I watched Exo Kitty, and here is what I thought. So, Exo Kitty is a show that is a spin-off of the movie To All the Boys I Loved Before. And this series follows the youngest, Covey's sister, which is Kitty. She decides to go to school called KISS in Korea. And one of the main reasons is to follow her boyfriend, Dae. And the second reason is to learn more about her mother, because her mother had went to this school. So when she arrives at KISS, things don't go as planned. And in Exo Kitty, Kitty is trying to learn more about her mother, but also learns more about herself as well. And while she is learning about herself and trying to figure her life out, she may also fall in love. Okay, so that is the general synopsis overall of the show Exo Kitty. But now we will be getting into spoiler territory. So if you have not seen the show and you don't want to get spoiled, click off now and then come back. But if you really don't care, and if you've already seen the show, let's continue. Okay, so in this video, I will mostly be focusing on season 2, which is the most recent season that just came out. So at the end of season 1, Kitty had feelings for Yuri, so she broke up with Dae, and then Mino confessed his love for her on the airplane. And y'all, that was the end of season 1. Ended on that cliffhanger. Yes, a lot happened in the very first season of the show. I gotta be honest. After I watched season 1, I was not the biggest fan. There definitely were some moments I liked, and if there weren't, I definitely would not have given season 2 a chance. But I saw the potential that this show had, so I was willing to give it another try. So I had loved To All the Boys I Loved Before, the movie series. I even read the books and loved those as well. So I was really expecting something similar to that with this show. I had high expectations for season 1, and after I watched it, I was disappointed. And the best way I can think to describe season 1 was that it was an Americanized K-drama. So things that you would usually do in a K-drama or usually see in a K-drama, they had in this show. And it just seemed like the show was, or a lot of things within the show was shot in that style for the first season, rather than kind of like an Americanized style for a teen show. So while watching the show, it just felt a little weird because I just wasn't expecting that. If I was watching a K-drama, I would have expected the things that they put in season 1. I would have expected the longing looks that lasted 2 to 3 minutes. And I would have expected a little bit of a slower pace and things would be more drawn out because that's how K-dramas usually are. And I'm not saying how they did it for season 1 was wrong. It was just, to me, unexpected. And I feel like if you never watched a K-drama, it could have felt a little weird and caused some dislike. I know personally people in my life who haven't watched K-dramas and they really did not enjoy the first season. I have watched K-dramas before, as you could probably tell from some reviews. And so once I got used to it being like a K-drama-ish style, it was a little better, but it definitely was, I don't know, it was kind of a little different, weird, something to get used to when you're expecting something to be more like faster paced and like an Americanized style. Other things I did not like in the first season, honestly, the acting wasn't the best. It could have been better. I also think like timing and specifically comedic timing was a little bit off in some points throughout the show, and that just caused some dislike for me. It just felt like there's like rhythm and certain timing and some of those beats were not being met. And I do know one thing that like kind of threw me off when I was watching season 1 was how Kitty looked so young in season 1, or maybe not so young, but she looked like a high school student, while some of the actors did not look to be around Kitty's age. And to me, some of them looked a lot older. And I literally immediately looked up their age. I was like, what's the age difference? Am I crazy? Like, are they around her age or are they older than her? And I was correct. I believe season 1, she was probably around 18, 19, at the latest, probably around 20 when they shot the first season. And some of the other actors were like mid to late 20s. So definitely, at least for me, I could see there was an age difference and it just felt a little bit weird. And I was like, these people look closer to like college age, not high school age students. So it was just, I don't know. It was a little weird with like the age difference. I felt like they should be in a college setting and then some of the cast should be in a high school setting. And with the combination of all those things, I just did not like season 1. I did see that there was potential. I really liked Q. He was my favorite character, and I feel like he had the best one-liner. Also, like the possibility of Mino and Kitty being in a relationship and like that kind of romance particularly happening, that definitely had me intrigued to see what would happen in season 2. And the cliffhanger did not hurt. So that definitely kept me wanting a little bit more. So I honestly thought the show had a really good foundation. Like there were spots of really good points. It was just a lot of things I just didn't love within the first season. But I thought maybe they can build upon this, and maybe after season 1 it could potentially get a little bit better. So really the potential I saw for this show is what had me coming back. Okay, that's enough about season 1. Let's really get into season 2. Okay, guys, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because my expectations were lower. Maybe I was just in the right mood, ready for something like this, but I really liked season 2. I don't know if you're shocked just because of everything I just said about season 1, or if you read my blog post, but I definitely was. I was shocked myself. I was not expecting to enjoy season 2 as much as I enjoyed season 2, y'all. So let me set the scene. So I was just in the mood for something easy, simple, lighthearted, and around that time, the new season of XOKitty had recently come out. And I was like, let me watch that. I know it's not going to be super dramatized. I know it's not going to have super heavy topics. I know it's going to be a light, silly, goofy, fun time. And that's what I really needed. I was craving. So I put on XOKitty. And let me tell you, it was exactly what I needed. Everything they were giving me in the show, I was eating it up. I was having a good old time watching season 2, y'all. So like I mentioned before, season 1 ended with a cliffhanger. Mino confesses his feelings for Kitty. Kitty realizes she has feelings for Yuri, breaks up with Day, and then Kitty tells Mino, at least in the beginning of season 2, we get her response to what he said, and so she tells Mino she doesn't have feelings for him. Kitty was really in the middle of everything. Like the show is about her, so like duh, but I was watching this thinking everybody wants Kitty, like everybody wants her. And she's really just in the middle, has her hands in everything. It was a great time. So what I really want to do for season 2 is just go through some of my favorite moments or some of the memorable moments of the show, in my opinion. Okay, so one of my first moments that I really liked was when Mino and Kitty are finally talking after the plane confession, because they were kind of avoiding each other for a little bit. So when they're like talking and Mino says, but you smiled, I was giggling, kicking my feet, y'all, because she kind of turned him down and, asking like, can we be friends? Are we okay? And he was like, when I confessed to you, you smiled. And he was like, why would you smile? In my head, I was like, get her, Mino. Get her. Tell her, Mino. Let her come to the realization. Him calling her out. And then she was literally standing there trying to figure out why did I smile? Like, why did I? And Mino was like, part of you liked what I said. Maybe a part of you wanted or liked that I was confessing my feelings to you. Guys, I was living for that part. And this was literally the beginning of the show. That set the scene, y'all. I was ready. Season 2, I was ready for it. Okay, another important moment for me was when Kitty and Mino went to visit her family. So Kitty has really tried to find out more about her mom and kind of when she was younger and what she did at KISS and what her life was like at that time. So she ended up finding some family in Korea that she never met, never really knew about. So Mino joins Kitty to meet her family, and it really doesn't go super well. And Kitty is very upset about this and super emotional. And so she ends up leaving in a hurry, and Mino follows her. And he finds her standing in the pouring rain crying. I do have to say that my immediate reaction of just the scene of Kitty just standing there in the rain, I was like, girl, why are you so dramatic? Why are you standing in the rain? At least get under something, girl. It's raining. That was my initial thought. But I understand it's like rain, sadness, romance. It all makes sense. Like it goes together. But I loved the part when Mino came to her and comforted her and was just really there for her. It was super, super sweet. I was loving it. And they also had like a little moment when they were looking at each other, like that longing look. Loved it. And I think another important moment in the show is something we got to talk about. Like, you can't talk about season 2 and not talk about the kiss that happened in this season. So Kitty realizes she has feelings for Yuri in season 1. And in season 2, now that she's with Juliana, she's trying to suppress them. So Yuri has a girlfriend, and Kitty doesn't really want to get in between that. But then Yuri and Kitty kiss. And let me tell y'all, my jaw dropped because I honestly didn't think that it would actually happen. Just because Kitty was so determined not to get into the relationship, and Yuri, I didn't feel like Yuri felt that way about Kitty. So I was just shocked when it happened. And then the fact that it happened right before they were about to go on a cabin trip with all their friends. Worst timing possible. Which leads me into my next thing, which is the cabin episode. I thought was a very important episode in the season. So many things happened in this episode. One of my favorite parts about the cabin episode was the confrontation between Day, Mino, Q, and Jin, I believe. And honestly, this was one of the funniest scenes in the show this season. Day definitely stole this scene. Him mimicking Mino was so funny to me. Like, I was literally laughing out loud. And that wasn't the only time. We also see it in the first episode as well when he's mimicking Mino a little bit. And it caught me by surprise because we usually don't see that from Day. But it was so funny. I was really enjoying Day's character this season. And I never really disliked him. He was just, I don't know, average. He was okay. But I really grew to like him even more in season 2. And I hope they continue to have that little comedic, not even just mimicking, but more of those funny moments with Day. I would like to see more of that in future seasons. Okay, still talking about the cabin episode, we got to talk about the love letter. So if you've seen the movies To All the Boys I Loved Before, love letters are a main topic of that series. So in the cabin episode, Kitty decides to write a love letter to Yuri, but not really give to her, just to get her feelings out. But the love letter is discovered at the cabin and everyone's reading it, not knowing who it is from or who it is to. But eventually reading through the letter, they figure out who the letter was about and who it was from. And let me just tell you, it had a huge domino effect because people found out about Kitty's feelings for Yuri, and they also found out about the kiss as well. And it was just not good. And Yuri and Juliana ended up breaking up because of this. And Kitty, she honestly feels like a terrible, horrible person about this because she didn't want this to happen. She didn't want to break up their relationship. She just had feelings and didn't know how to express them or get them out. So she wrote a letter, and unfortunately, people found out about the letter she wrote. And this brings me to another scene from the cabin episode, which was the hot tub scene. So in this scene, Kitty is in the hot tub at the cabin after kind of everything comes out about the love letter, and Mino finds her crying in the hot tub. And he decides to get in and comforts her. This was such a sweet part in the show. And I really liked seeing this because I loved how Mino was there for her when she really needed a friend. And this was just another very sweet moment just between the two of them. And I do have to say, I really enjoyed how the show handled Mino and Kitty's relationship this season. There were a lot more genuine friendship moments between them in this season. Just moments where they were there for each other. And it wasn't necessarily in a romantic way, but more in a really good friendship way. And I honestly think this makes their bond or whatever relationship they will have even stronger. Even though there may have been times where there were longing looks, they stayed in that friend box. And I feel for this season, those moments were very important. And I think it will be even more important for them in the future. Okay, we got to talk about Stella. Stella was the villain for the season, and she's the new girl at the beginning, and you can tell something's a little off with her. And she immediately has eyes for Mino, and so her and Mino get in a relationship, and she seems really nice at first, but then her actions become more and more strange as the show goes on. And it turns out that she got close to Mino to learn his family secrets. So Mino's dad is really big in the entertainment industry, and his dad had a competition show a little bit ago, and Stella had competed for it, and he kind of ended up embarrassing her on national television. He said she didn't have the look, so what she do? She changed her look and decided to compete in his new competition. And because she changed how she looked and got some work done, people really didn't recognize her, but she was mostly kind of doing this for revenge because she didn't like how his father treated her. Kitty eventually learns of Stella's true identity and tries to warn Mino, but he doesn't really want to listen to her and doesn't believe her, and it kind of causes a rift in their friendship. But eventually he finds out the truth about Stella, and he tries to kind of break up with her and put an end to this, but Stella ends up having some information on Mino's family that they kind of want to protect and don't want to get out, so she's blackmailing him, and she kind of tells him, like, I better win this competition or this info in your family is going to come out. But with the help of Kitty and some friends, they were able to stop Stella from blackmailing Mina's family and sabotaging the competition. Another part which I thought was super important was the ending of the show. So by the end of the season, Kitty realizes she has feelings for Mino. At the end of the season, Mino tells Kitty that he is going to go join his brother on tour, and it feels like maybe it isn't their time yet, and maybe they're just kind of keep missing each other. But just when Mino walks away, Kitty asks if she can join him, and he seems to be saying yes, and that is where the show ends. And let me just tell you, they know how to do a good cliffhanger because it kept me wanting more, and I want to know what happens between Mino and Kitty in season 3. But yeah, I thought the ending was such a good scene, and we kind of see Kitty kind of realizing, oh, I do kind of care and have feelings. Looks like she kind of wants to explore things with Mino. Mino still has feelings for Kitty. He never really fully got over her, but maybe he's like, maybe I'm not ready, or doesn't know how she feels about him. So it doesn't feel like it's their time yet. But Kitty's like, you know what? Go big, go home. So she's like, what if I join you? So I'm definitely excited to see what happens in season 3 between these two. So after watching season 2 of XOKitty, I am giving it 4 stars. You may think I'm delusional, but I do not care. I had a great time watching this season. I think I was just in the mood for a show like this, and at the time I watched it, it was the perfect mixture of what I was looking for. And maybe my expectations were low. Maybe that helped, but I don't care. I loved watching season 2. I am definitely interested to see where they go with this show for season 3. So I really like Dae's character, as I mentioned before, in season 2. So I hope we get to see more of him and kind of that comedy he was bringing to this show. I really like Dae's character, and I don't know, maybe he wasn't right for Kitty, but I would love for Dae to be happy and find love and have a happily ever after. So I'm rooting for Dae. He's just a really sweet, kind guy, and I would love to see more of what his love life will look like as well. Can we get more of Q? I feel like Q is not in the show enough, and he has the best one. He has the best lines, and he delivers them so well. Like, I need more of Q because he's my favorite character. I did love the characters they added in this season with Juliana and I believe Jin as well, and I would love to see them interact more with the main cast in season 3 or future seasons. I think it's a good mixture of new characters, and I honestly would love to see what this group of people will look like in season 3. I'm also interested to see in the future seasons what they're going to do with Kitty and kind of her looking to her mom. I know the big thing was kind of knowing more about her mom, if she had a first love. We kind of figured out that her big love of her life was Kitty's father and found her mother's family. So I'm wondering if there's anything else Kitty really wants to explore. I felt like the main things, at least from what I think the main things were, Kitty kind of learned and found out about her mom. So I'm wondering if there's going to be more of that in future seasons. But one of my hopes for this show, I really hope that the show can go on and last for a little while. I don't want it to be treated like how Never Have I Ever was, with only 4 seasons, and I think each season had around 8 to 10 episodes. Like, no, I thought Never Have I Ever was too short, and I did not like that. And I feel like XOKitty can go longer than that. I would love to see the show have more episodes. I think because it only has 30-minute episodes, or around 30-minute episodes, you can have 10 to 13 episodes per season. At least in my opinion. I think, to me, that'd be cool. That'd be nice. I would love more. I feel like the seasons are too short. So that's what I hope for this show, to have a little bit longer of seasons, and I really hope it's more than 4. Like, if you're gonna give me 8 episodes for a season, 30 minutes, no thank you. I don't want that. I want more. Just because of how much I enjoyed season 2, I just want more of that. Like, this is a really cute teen rom-com show, and so far it's doing really well. So I'm just saying, don't just stop it after 4 seasons. If the people want more, I say give them more. And on a side note, something I would like to see, I would like to see a spin-off with Margot. I really like the actress Janelle Parrish, and the 2 other sisters had their own love journey, and I also feel like we don't know a whole lot about Margot. So I would love to see kind of what her journey into finding her love, her true love, would be. I know Jenny Han usually does young adult teen dramas, but I think a cute adult rom-com could do very well. If it's a series, I would love that too, but I would be even fine with a movie or like even like a limited series with Margot. I do think it's something that Jenny Han and Netflix should definitely consider. Okay, so if you did like Exo Kitty and you're wondering what should I check out next, here are some recommendations for you. So if you like this, I would suggest Never Have I Ever. So Never Have I Ever features our main character Davy, and similar to Exo Kitty, they both kind of have chaos follow them wherever they go, and they're both navigating high school and also their love lives and being a teenager. So if you liked like the comedy, fun, craziness, ridiculousness of Exo Kitty, then I would suggest Never Have I Ever. I would also suggest, if you like Exo Kitty, to check out some K-dramas. One of my absolute favorite K-dramas is Crash Landing on You. It's one that I've rewatched so many times. But if you liked Exo Kitty and maybe you want to try a K-drama, I would suggest Crash Landing on You. This definitely has, I feel like, maybe more romance, and if you liked how there was a big cast of characters in Exo Kitty, there are definitely a lot of characters in Crash Landing on You that you do fall in love with, and you follow some of their journeys as well. And this one is a little bit more serious. It's not as lighthearted as Exo Kitty. It is more serious, but I may be biased, but I really do enjoy it. So if you're looking for a K-drama to try, maybe that's one you want to check out. And my next recommendation is another K-drama, and it is called Business Proposal. And this one is not as serious. This is more of a romantic comedy. So if you like silly, goofy romance TV show, check out The Business Proposal. I like the main couple, but I really do like the second main couple as well. And it has fake relationship. I know there's a little bit of that in Exo Kitty, but if you like a fake relationship, definitely check out this show. It's more light-hearted, not as serious as Crash Landing on You. Kind of a little bit more fun and lighter if you're looking for something a little bit more similar to Exo Kitty. And of course, if you're looking for some movie recommendations, I highly suggest go check out To All the Boys I Loved Before if you have not seen that series. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video, and those are my thoughts for Exo Kitty Season 2. If you have watched Season 2 or Season 1, what were your thoughts on the show? Did you like Season 2 better or worse than Season 1? Let me know your thoughts. Feel free to follow me on all my socials. It is ATS_MGO on all platforms. I will leave a link to my website down below as well. Feel free to check out blog posts on TV content on there. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, week, month, and hopefully a good rest of your year. And until next time, bye.